Welcome to this edition of Sprÿng Experts Talk About Pet Food, where we are going to be discussing sustainability and everything that has to do with sustainability and all the issues around sustainability. We hear and read everywhere that the demand for animal protein is increasing, the human population is increasing, and pets are becoming more and more popular. They're being humanized more, and pet owners are looking at the pets' diets, where the increasing protein and the quality of the proteins is also increasing. At the same time, you have a lot of governments and a lot of organizations that are trying to reduce the amount of protein needed, or at least animal protein needed, and switch more over to plant-based consumption. And this is creating some serious tensions in the market and in the way we actually have to behave ourselves going forward in the future to take care of this planet. So this is creating a huge contradictory, and we need to find a solution. And I think we have a solution, and it's the Sprÿng pet food ingredients. We produce the demanded high-quality animal ingredients, animal proteins, at a substantially lower environmental impact. By offering these high-quality ingredients derived from mealworms, we are a solution going forward. But how do we do this in a very ecological way? Let's dive into this. So first, joining us is Maximilian. He's our impact manager. We have Thomas. He's our biotech and R&D innovations director. And we have Benedict, who is R&D director. And I'm Jeroen Schweitz, the sales director. Many studies have shown that pet humanization is ongoing. People are treating their pets like almost children, so the quality of their diets is increasing. So the actual the premium pet food market is actually growing more than the sub-premium type of markets. And this creates a lot of competition for food-grade ingredients that humans would normally eat are actually now going to pet food. You also see a lot of brands saying, hey, human-based ingredients. And that's creating tensions and it's creating problems and will create problems. So we want to see how now this mealworm can bridge that gap between the pressures on the human and on the pet food market. And we want to do that on a very sustainable way. But how do we back this up? We go into our breeding and our rearing process, and also our ingredients manufacturing process, and teach you how this is actually done on a very, very economic way, but also in a very ecological way. Yeah. And I think Max, you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, why raising mealworm can be less impactful than another animal? I think there is two reasons on that. First of all, the efficiency on how the mealworm will use the resources that we give him. I don't know, Thomas, what do we feed our insect first of all?
Well, a good question. It's quite confidential for some aspects, but I will answer. Let's say that the mealworms are polyphagous. That means that they eat almost everything, but they really preferred cereal-based ingredients. And so their diet in our farm is a mix of cereals and especially byproducts like wheat bran, which is byproduct from the meal industry.
Yeah. Thomas, are they able to convert this feed in an efficient way?
Yeah, they are. And they're even very efficient in transforming the feed into very high-quality proteins. Mealworms have evolved in a very dry and in environments that are difficult, without a lot of ingredients and so on. So they really need, and they are very adapted to convert in an efficient way their feed into proteins, high quality proteins, but also in energetic reserves for them to transform into beetles.
Yeah, I think that's the first reason, the efficiency of how mealworm converts their feedstock. I think the second great reason why mealworm can be a really sustainable source of protein is the fact that this feed itself is considered for other species a low value. Like wheat bran, why is mealworm? Why is wheat bran a low value feed, considered low nutritional value feed?
Yeah, so wheat bran is mainly it's very rich in fibers.
Yeah.
It's a byproduct from the meal industry, as I said, and so they are very. It's only the envelope of the grain, and it's a very. So we have layers of proteins, but we have many fibers. And the insects, the mealworms, are able to find these proteins to use them for growth and production of biomass.
Yeah. So basically, mealworm is converting a low value feedstock, and convert it in a high quality protein. And that's a great add to the to the agri-food system. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially that this wheat bran, it's a byproduct from the milling industry. It means that it's produced anyway. Like the feedstock is not produced especially to rear the mealworm. It's a byproduct of something that is produced for direct human consumption.
Mm-hmm. And if you're talking about wheat germ or wheat bran, and it's a quite dry product, do you have to also give the mealworms water or something like that, or how do you hydrate them?
Yeah, we provide some water paste, water medium to hydrate the insect. So it's basically kind of paste that could, but not so much actually, because the mealworms belongs to a family of beetles that are also adapted to live in very dry environment, and so the amount of water needed to raise the mealworms is very low compared to other livestock.
Yeah, to that I will add also that the first thing is the direct water consumption to hydrate them is really low, and also because they are using less feed and byproduct feed, the water needed to raise this feed to grow this in crop is also a lot lower than for other species. And it's the same for the land usage. We got vertical farm, minimizing the land on the farm, but also because of the footprint of the feed is also lower than other species. So during all the life stage of the mealworm, we got a really efficient way of giving this good protein to pet food.
And how is that measured when you look at how what do you compare it to? How we compared it to, let's say, other products in the market? How we stand? How we end up proving that we are one of the most sustainable protein sources, animal protein sources?
I think one of the best way to measure a footprint of a product or of a system like our farm is to use LCA, so life cycle analysis, life cycle assessment. Mm-hmm. So the goal of this methodology is to try to measure not only the in-farm footprint, not only what is directly what will be the pollution or the intake directly on farm, but on all the life cycle of the product. So from the beginning, what we take from nature. So for us, it will be during the crop. So we need machinery, we will need fertilizer, we will have some emission linked to that. And then this feedstock is transformed to is feed to our insect. Here we will need some transportation. So the life cycle assessment will try to sum up everything needed to produce 1 unit, 1 kilogram of anything of our product, and to have to show what will be the full footprint during all the life stage for when you consume 1 kilogram of any of our product.
And you take also into account the energy needed to produce the.
Yeah, of course. We use energy on farm, but it also take into account all the energy linked to the previous stage. So and the oil that burn in the machinery, also the diesel in transportation trucks and lorry, etc. And during all the cycle of the.
But Maximilien, at the end you take numbers, data, so it's manipulation. You can say what you want with this number. How can you be sure that it's relevant, that is comparable to other data that we have for benchmark, for example?
Yeah, one of the huge thing is for us, we know pretty surely what we are doing in our farm. So this is quite the easy one. But we cannot look into all our suppliers, and their suppliers. Mm-hmm. And so at some point we don't yet, I hope we will get in the future maybe, a whole accountability of the impact. And so we got a proxy, there is some database that has made the LCA from what we consume. And so we use those LCA, which are packed into a strong database to perform our own LCA. So to perform our own measurement. So for the feedstock in the farm in Amiens, we use feedstock from France. So we use Agribalise, which is a database made by the French government, by ADEME, which is really strong for French agricultural product.
Okay.
For energy consumption and other things, we use EcoInvent, which is maybe the most recognized one also. And with all those databases have a strong, I don't know how to say it, cahier des charges, strong
specification.
Strong specification for all the data they gather to have comparable data with the same methodology, etc.
So it's quite reliable. So the numbers that we can provide are going to be very, very reliable and accurate numbers compared to other ingredients.
As they are done with the same methodology, they can be compared in some way with the other data that are on those databases.
And how do we score? That's important.
Yeah, I think we score fine, obviously. When the first thing is we have to get a fair comparison. So if you want to know if your impact is good or not, you cannot just say it by looking at the raw number. You have to compare it to something, and there we have to know what is our benchmark. And here we have to look into how the product is used. And I will ask you, Benedict, how.
Yeah, because it's important to speak about impact, but it's true that if the use of the product is not here, if the ingredient is not performant, it has no sense.
Yeah.
And that's something that I wanted to underline today, that also Sprÿng ingredients are of exceptional quality for many reasons. The first one is their nutritional quality. We have a high amount of protein because of the natural richness of mealworms. Our dry product are close to 70% of protein. So we can speak about concentrate of protein. What is important after the quantity is the quality of this protein. So for that you look at the amino acid composition, and we have several studies that show that this amino acid exhibit a complete profile for adult cats and adult dogs. So it means that we bring the essential amino acids that need pets to grow well. Other nutritional parameter that we know that we have a low hash content. That's also a quality parameter, very important in pet food. Yep. And also the diacylate score in pet food is an indicator of the digestibility of the amino acid. And for our product, we are very competitive to high quality ingredients such as beef, salmon product. So yes, we have very interesting product in terms of nutrition, in terms of health performance also on pets that we tested. So in terms of impact, we have to compare this product to same quality products. And when we do that, you did calculation, Maximilien, and we have very interesting value.
Yeah, of course. If we compare the dry, for example, our dry protein, the protein 70, a good benchmark will be the lamb protein, which is a high quality protein, often used in pet food. And here, if you look at the contribution to climate change, we can score 2 times lower.
Half of lamb.
Yeah, half of lamb, and it's again it's even more if we look at the Wet Pro 15, and so it's our wet product. Here, if we compare it, I don't know, it would be a offal from
beef offal.
Beef offal it would be a good benchmark. Here, it's even better. It would be maybe 15 times less than beef offal in the impact, less than 1 kilogram of CO2 equivalent per kilogram of Wet Pro, and the benchmark with the water and land use will also be in the same kind of amount. So it's really an interesting alternative in the high-grade protein market for pet food, I think.
And our products are aligned with a concept defined by a researcher, Kelly Swanson. He speaks about nutritional sustainability, and I think it's very right for our product, because the definition he gives for that is the ability of a food system to provide essential nutrients without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their nutritional needs. So there are the 2 components. There are the nutrition, there are the sustainability, and our Sprÿng ingredient meets both components. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that we have to compare ourselves to an equally high quality ingredient within the pet food market, at least, which is lamb, beef, salmon, and there we score quite well. When you look at the less valuable, shall we say, nutritionally valuable ingredients, we still score a bit better or equal.
No, it would be not an opportunity for the agricultural system, for example, to replace poultry flour. It's already a byproduct. It's and it's really a lower grade ingredient. So this is not the kind of market we are aiming for, and it's in a sustainable point of way. It's not a waste, but it's really a byproduct. There is no point in replacing this kind of protein. It's really on the high grade one that the opportunity, both in nutrition and in impact, is really here.
And just out of curiosity, because when I speak to my customers, they talk about saying, well, okay, we're using already a byproduct, so it's already sustainable, because they use the economic valuation of that part of a chicken and put all the let's say the high numbers onto the piece of chicken that people buy in the supermarket, and then they have very little impact with the rest that we do. Is that how we do it as well, or do we do it differently?
Yeah, so the allocation system is really important in LCA, because many production systems will have several outputs. So, for example, for our feed, there is the wheat we grow in farm, and there will be the flour that for human consumption, and the wheat bran that is produced and that we use. So, how do you separate the impact? The impact is for the wheat. It's not for one of the ingredients and not the other. So, how do you have a fair share of the impact? For us, it's also the same thing. We got the larvae and also the frass, so the dejection of the insect that is used as a fertilizer. And so also we got several products in the end. How do we share the impact that we have between all the ingredients? We choose to use an economic allocation. So it means that we're going to share the impact in proportion of the economical value generated by each of the product. Why did we choose that? Because we wanted to be consistent with what is used in the market for the wheat bran. It will also be an economical allocation between the flour and the wheat bran, and also it's consistent with the market in the end for all those byproducts from the slaughtering industry. So when you got a beef, a chicken, or any animal, there will be some part that will go to direct human consumption, some part that can go to both human or pet food, and some part that we only be suitable for pet food. And to share the impact, they will also use the economical education, and it's a recommendation from the product environmental footprint, so it's a norm from the European Union to divide the impact in the protein market.
Okay. And we've talked now about the feed, the energy, the water use, land use, but what about greenhouse gases? How do we measure up to our little mealworms cause harm in that area, or are they substantially better than other, shall we say, animals typically used in pet food?
Yes. For the greenhouse gases, so it's a contribution to climate change. The first thing is our mealworms don't emit methane, if you can confirm.
I confirm.
So, contrary to ruminants, and also one of the great advantage is the frass. So the dejection is also dried. It's not a wet product, so there won't be a first fermentation on farm, contrary to what you could have with pig or with poultry, which can lead to lixiviation, to not lixiviation, sorry, to leakage into the area, or to methane or ammoniac emission on farm because the digestion of this manure.
And also the fact that the feedstock given to the mealworms are very close to the farm, because they are produced close to the farm, also reduce the emissions of CO2 because of the transport.
The transportation
is reduced by that way also.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to have the farm in the middle of a really great agricultural area, especially in cereal. The north of France, in our case.
Yeah.
And the other great thing is most of the footprint of most animal, if you don't take a ruminant, would be also the feed, how the feed is grown. And because we got a great efficiency, because we use low value feedstock, the footprint of our feed is really low compared to other animals. And that's what makes both our larvae and then the ingredient made our larvae sustainable. In the end, the slaughtering industry will take byproduct of highly emitting industry, which is the animal rearing. And for us, we will take byproduct of cereal and transform it into high quality. So it's also byproduct. It's just byproduct from a bit before.
Because when you do that feed conversion, because I think that's an interesting one. Yeah. If you see what I think cattle get also not just on the grass, but they also get feed. The energy required and the raw materials to this. Maybe the soya doesn't all grow in Europe; it grows in other countries, and it leads to other sort of problems in other countries. That has to come over here. It's got to be worked out into a kibble or pebble or whatever, and then fed to the chicken. So we must. Having a locally sourced byproduct feeding our larvae, that must help our LCA considerably compared to that chicken fillet or even that chicken itself.
Obviously the transportation. If our feed came from the other side of the world, transportation will be a huge deal. So it's really a great opportunity to have a feedstock available next to the farm. Yeah. I think it's also a key point here.
And what happens when you have the feedstock? You said the mealworms can eat anything. We chose wheat bran because it's right there where our plant is. But is there also
because they prefer the cereal black products? Huh?
That's what they prefer.
Yeah, that's what they prefer. And so your question is?
No, is there also other feedstocks that you could use that are also available in the area to maybe also give them a varied diet or something like that to see whether they increase the performance, or is this already like scientifically proven? This is what they need because this is the best for them and the most sustainable.
So the formulation of the diet for our mealworms is based on different criteria. The first one is the availability of the feedstock, but also the nutritive value of the feedstock, so mainly cereal-based ingredients, but we can, as you said, substitute one to other ingredients. We have a tool actually to choose all the materials that we can use to feed our insects with different criteria of selection, and one of them is the carbon footprint of the feedstock.
Yeah.
So, which is quite interesting.
And if we want to go further in this, aren't there some other opportunity of feedstock if you go to a farmer foodstuff and byproduct instead of byproduct in the beginning of the food chain of the food system, but in the end of the food system, what is not used by human because I don't know, for many reasons.
And that's the next steps. You're right. Our insect will also eat a former foodstuff, and I prefer to use the term of former foodstuffs than wastes, because waste you can find everything without traceability, etc. But for different kind of former foodstuffs, meaning that the food which is lost, which is not sold, for instance, which is discards, our insect could eat that, like we have in like pasta or bread or something like that, and this improve a lot or the sustainability of our system.
Yeah,
but from a regulatory point of view, are you able to give what you want to your insects to feed them?
That's a good question. Yes, we can use former foodstuffs, which is already used for to feed farmed animals, like the one that I cited earlier. But but for some other wastes, like from retail, from restaurants, etc., for the moment, it's not authorized in Europe.
I think that's interesting, because it brings up another question I have, is that you have these high quality ingredients and you're working with live animals. What's the safety and the reliability of the mealworms regarding, let's say, all the steps and all the regulations we need to follow, or maybe certificates that we have to understand that our animals and our ingredients and our wet everything is just absolutely safe, even for.
Yeah, it's. I think it's an error of people that associate with insect ingredient a non-safe product, but it's completely an error, because as a producer of pet food ingredient, you are submitted to the same regulation. So we have the same quality control. We have to define good practice manufacture. We have some strong quality control plan, and at the same time, we are a specific area. We also have specific control that we define for our mealworms that have a specific parameter to be checked. So in fact, we at the same time we are following the regulatory mandatory things and the specific one of mealworms. So we can say yes that our products are safe to be consumed by pet
for pet food companies. Yeah. So it's good to hear that we have a very high quality ingredient in the market for pet food and other applications, and we have a very, very sustainable balance in that, and we can score very well against, let's say, premium ingredients. But what can we do still to even improve on that?
Yeah, I think the insect rearing right now, it's on an industrial scale, is at the beginning. So we got a lot of opportunity to improve the way we rear insects, the way we breed them. And I expect in the future a great improvement. I think the first step will be to work on energy consumption on site. So here we got a great project, a gas decarbonation project with a combination of free cooling, heat pump, an installation on a waste valorization unit that will produce heat and replace some gas consumption also. So it's a first step. And a second step will be to work on the diet, because the diet is actually the majority of the footprint of our insect. And here I'm going to ask you, Thomas. So we spoke about former foodstuff valorization. So it's really a huge opportunity, I think, for us. And also we got a genetic program. Can you maybe?
Yeah, of course. It's true that we are now working on a genetic program, so classical one, and not a GMO or something like that. It's really to select the better insect to improve the yes, the performances, but also, as you said, the abilities to convert the feed in an efficient way. So, our mealworm is not. It's really entering in the domestication. We are very at the beginning of the story, as you said, and so we now can improve his performances and to be even more sustainable.
As we have done for hundreds and hundreds with other livestock, actually. The more efficient we can raise our insects, the less resources they will use to produce our ingredient, and the more sustainable it will be.
Okay, excellent. All right. Are there any more questions or anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
It's okay for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time, and thank you for explaining how our Sprÿng, powered by insect, can offer sustainable ingredients for the pet food market and other markets, and help premium and normal pet food companies improve their paw prints in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Johan.
you.